Meeting of Berkeley County Council is now in session. Are there any items from the public? Commission. Thank you. It's a hard habit to break. All right. Yeah, a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Purchase law. Any questions on the purchase law? Hearing none. Mr. Wine, we have 3 internal budget revisions.
Yes, sir, you do. It's that time of year when you find out just how tight people's budgets are as we move money around just to survive. The first one is from IT. We're asking to move $50,000 from rents to maintenance and repair to equipment. The second, also from IT, is to move $36,000 from capital outlay equipment to materials and supplies. And lastly is one from the county clerk's office asking to move $5,000 from materials and supplies to printing.
Have change of status. Have a new hire recommendation received from Tim Zaya, excuse me, Director of Community Corrections, for Stephanie Stout as a Recovery Resource Coordinator with an annual salary of $65,000 effective April 29, 2024. Have a new hire recommendation received from Gary Wine, County Administrator, for Taylor Butts as an IT Coordinator with an annual salary of $43,135 effective May 1, 2024.
What's an IT coordinator?
It's the admin for the IT department.
Oh.
That position, Mr. Marno, was created in 2009.
Change of status received from the Honorable Tony Petrucci, County Clerk, for the following effective April 1, 2024. Penny Dorsey is being promoted from Deputy Clerk to Supervisor of Voter Registration with a salary increase from $53,828.11 to $64,077.89. Melissa Ballinger is receiving a salary increase for taking on additional duties, responsibilities. She will go from $42,078.61 to $53,828.11. We have a letter of resignation received from facilities from Zoe Ledbetter, effective April 1, 2024. And a letter of resignation received from Court Security Hubert Robinson, effective June 30, 2024. Everybody was here for the March 28 commission meeting. Everyone was present. We have a bond reduction request for Spring Mills HUD Commercial Lot 28 as for grading. BCP file 2402-033 tied to BCP 2403-032, number 004-20 and 2204-0245. That's a grading bond. Number 100654799, and that's being recommended by Doug Smith, our engineer. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We have a stop payment request from the county clerk's finance office. And that's going to complete our consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Approved. I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda for April 11, 2024.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. There's no assessment this week by the assessor's office. Nothing that's been submitted. Reappointment packets have been sent to the following: Central Dispatch Advisory Committee. Steve Canby, his term expires on May the 5th. Chris Fincham, his term expires on May the 16th. And J.D. Hummingbird, his term expires on May the 6th. Reappointment packets have been received by Mike Height for the Roundhouse Authority. His term expires June 14th, 2024. And received a new application from Patrick Winkleman for the Development Authority. Mr. Boyd, you ready for your,
Scheduled for interview either of those? New application?
yes, please, thank you.
Well, I had a roundhouse meeting last night. A lot going on down there right now. We had Mr. Babbitt, the gentleman we interviewed a couple weeks ago, join the board this month, and he was active, and we're giving him some tasks to work on already. You know, he said he was retired and had plenty of time. He's going to work with Wanamaker with what we can do to better the website some over there. And this weekend coming up, we have the model train show going on down there. They're doing it twice a year now. The last one was really big. They had a lot of vendors down there. On another note, the home show just wrapped up. That went very well. Said it was the best one yet. They were very pleased with the upgrades to the electric that we had got done. So the vendors didn't have issues with the electric this year. We moved the stage out of the frog shop, so that opened up more space for vendors in there. So all in all, they were very pleased with the home show.
I guess it'll be there next year.
Yeah, we did a 5-year contract
Oh,
with
did.
them, and this was the 3rd year. So we have 2 more years with them with the home show. So and the elevator shaft and steps and all that is pretty much finished up. The elevator is going to be arriving this weekend to go into the shaft. So they should be working on that this weekend, even though there is the train show going on. But we've arranged to make a different path to the bathrooms in case they have that blocked up doing work, because they want to work over the weekend to get that installed. So that project is almost at completion. Next Saturday on April 20th, we have Earth Day and the kickoff of the farmers market for the season. There's already over 120 vendors for that event. That should be a very good event for the Roundhouse next Saturday. And then we did some more talk on the outdoor expo that's coming up September 7th and 8th. We're still looking for vendors, and we're working to the lady who is running the farmers market is going to get on board with that to help try to get some of the vendors lined up and different things. We're going to try to meet with some different people to get that ball rolling a little faster. But all in all, a lot going on. Things are rolling along down there. So.
The sports show, I mean, have they reached out to folks like up in Harrisburg at that arena there?
I'm not sure. I know the girl who was doing it was Jen. She's the one who brought it to us that wanted to do it. She works over at Panhandle Printing. But I think she's gotten busy with her job a little bit, and that's why the lady who is running the farmers market is going to step in and start to help a little more. I know we have some vendors lined up as of now, but you know, we need a few more, and we're also going to try to do some gun raffles and things during that sportsman show. So I'm hoping to get one of the local gun shops on board to assist us with that, because that's a big fundraiser, you know, facet of the event that could raise a lot of money for the Roundhouse.
I think it could really be a growing event if you can get it started correctly.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't disagree. Other than that, I guess I didn't have a whole lot else going on. I did participate yesterday morning. I went to the Day Report Center to that get together to meet the new president of the executive director of the West Virginia First Foundation that'll be working with the opioid money and distributing that throughout the state. So that was very productive. I think it went well. And then I also participated in the forum at the Sumner Raymer Tuesday night. There was a lot of candidates there. Went pretty well.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had Personnel Committee meeting for Region 9, what day it was, but it was, I was there by telephone because I couldn't get connection with Zoom because I was traveling. And We discussed hiring some new people for Region 9 and some other items. I had a water, Public Service Water District meeting Monday. Let's see what we did. They approved the alternate mainline extension agreement for Boyd's Crossing, which is right there next to the Fever Springs, for 99 townhomes, and Apple Valley Storage, which is somewhere in Inwood, and then design plans for Liberty Run, which is 245 single-family houses, and that's on Baker Road, somewhere behind the VA Center. And then the executive director's report. The low bidder for the Potomac River Water Treatment Facility was Global Heavy Corporation from Pennsylvania, and that bid was $30,298,000.
What was the hope?
Hmm?
What was the expected bid?
$30 million.
I mean, that's what you were,
Yeah, that's what they're anticipating. It was $298,000 over that, which is pretty darn good.
not bad.
As a matter of note, Snyder Environmental bid, and they bid $39 million. But I'm sure it'll be Global Heavy. The drought is officially over as far as Lefevre Springs is concerned. It's back to normal.
Hope so.
Yeah, after all this rain.
Getting more today.
Yeah. Of course, the water main's ready to go in front of the fairgrounds, but Jim's out of town, so I don't know.
Waiting on our digger.
So I have to wait till he comes back. And then Region 9 people came yesterday and met with Gary, Chad, and myself and discussed helping us with any grants and, back and forth. And I was able to get Suzanne there. She's one of their grant writers, but they got a different title. I had her meet with Elizabeth to set up, us working together with Region 9 instead of against Region 9, so to speak. And so that was a productive meeting, and Gary can elaborate on it if he wants to. That was my meeting.
Elaborate? Sure. So I mean, as Mr. Barnhart said, I think there's an opportunity to really leverage the skill set of Rachel and her team at Region 9. They're managing nearly $200 million worth of grants as we speak. So they live and breathe grants from the state and federal level, and they've got experts, or they have experts in all of those fields. So what they're doing is putting a hand out saying, hey, we'd like to be your eyes and ears and be able to help you identify, not that Elizabeth doesn't do a great job and isn't valuable at what she does here. And they were just saying, hey, we can augment and help you and keep in contact. And again, there's no reason to reinvent the wheels, and they're willing to do it. Mr. Barnhart made the contact, set us all around the table, so it makes great sense. And we'll continue we will utilize and really expound on what they have to offer.
This is my Region 9 week.
There you go. Mr. Kevin? Yes, sir. It's good to be back in Berkeley County.
Almost not sick.
Almost, yeah. I did leave Sunday morning early for Parkersburg, West Virginia, where I attended the spring board meeting of the CCAWV, and we had meetings on Sunday as well as on Monday. I would say the highlight of the meeting was the presentation on Monday afternoon by Speaker of the House, Roger Hanshaw. He is one of 250 individuals in the United States that's a certified parliamentarian. And actually, I was told the other day that he was at the Republican National Convention and did parliamentary procedures for him there. So that's how respected he is in his field. And so it was very interesting. And of course, there were a lot of questions from the commissioners about how they handle business, during our regular meetings. And there's a lot of flexibility in Robert's rules, so I didn't see where we were doing anything in violation of any of the rules. We were following things pretty well here, and I did get a chance during his talk afterwards. He accepted questions to ask him about the past legislative session and the future and home rule, because he has actually come out publicly and stated that he supports home rule for counties. And he stated that again on Monday. So I thought that was a good thing. We stayed in a place called the Blenner Hassett Hotel. We're celebrating our 130th birthday this year. Which is pretty impressive. John F. Kennedy and his wife, when they were here in West Virginia running for president in the 60s, stayed there. Hillary Clinton and her daughter, Chelsea, stayed there once upon a time, and very historic place.
Now you've stayed there.
Huh?
Now you've stayed there.
And I guess
That
I
completes
don't,
it.
I don't think I'll get a whole picture frame or anything hanging in the lobby like they have. But yeah, it was quite an experience. There's going to be future, the next meetings is going to be in June, the annual meeting at Stonewall Jackson. And then, of course, in August again this year, they'll have what is the auditors session that we attended last year. And it'll be at Canaan Valley this year. So they have talked about, they were here last fall for their fall meeting, and the one that was scheduled for Pipestem this year may not happen now. So they're actually talking about possibly coming back to Cacapen, which would be really nice. We encouraged him to do that. So on Tuesday, Eddie and I attended the governor's press conference at the Route 9 West at the DMV there. I guess it's good to say that we're getting some attention for Route 9, and we'll see how this shakes out. So, but attention on the project and recognizing the fact that we do have issues there is important, and hopefully we'll get some meaningful impact and some spending to address the traffic issues on 9 West. Yesterday, as HD mentioned, he and I attended the meet and greet of the new executive director, Jonathan Board, for the First Foundation. There was a strong representation from Region 2 there. A lot of commissioners from Morgan, Hardy, Mineral County, a lot of other folks, and it was probably the most anticipated thing going on in the state right now is how these funds are going to be distributed and when. And of course, I don't envy the position of Jonathan Board because everybody in the state has their hand out now for revenues. It's going to be, we're only talking millions of dollars, not billions, so he's going to have a real challenge. And but I really believe this after listening to him speak yesterday at the meeting. I think they made a really good choice in who they hired as their executive director. He seemed to say all the right things and had a good vision of where they hope to be. Of course, Matt Harvey was there, who is the actual president of the board of the First Foundation. And of course, Tim as well, our representative from Region 2. So I feel very confident in the people, the players in place, that things will be handled appropriately, and hopefully, they want to see some stuff start happening here before the end of this calendar year, which would be good. So that's all I have, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I have one thing I forgot.
Oh, I have, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, the highlight of the week here is Saturday. The Berkeley Senior Center is having an indoor yard sale, so I want y'all to please attend that if you could. But I've got a flyer here. If you have something at home that, I don't want junk that you're going to put in the garbage, but something that you really don't need anymore, I got one for each of you. Take it over and drop it off at the Senior Center tomorrow. So all the sales go directly to the senior services fundraising efforts. they've got a group of people now that are just trying to raise money like crazy. And, the yard sale was a big deal at one time, but now it's kind of tabled off. So I guess they're going to recharge the mission here. But all the proceeds go to the senior center. So
It's because Amazon will bring it to your house. You don't have to go to the yard sale.
that's for sure.
Mr. Boyd?
Yeah, one thing about the Roundhouse meeting, a big thing that I forgot was the Chamber of Commerce is actually having a big fundraiser there next Friday, the 19th. And we have decided to enter into an MOU with them like we did with Main Street, for them to have events and partner with us, advertise our events, and then in turn do a few events of their own at the Roundhouse each year. So I think that's a pretty big deal. Get in a working relationship with the Chamber of Commerce. And again, if anybody is interested, there's a big fundraiser there with some food and different things going on next Friday.
Thank you. My LAPC meeting on Tuesday was canceled. 911 Advisory Board meeting was held at the same time that Steve and I were out on Route 9, so wasn't able to attend that meeting. But the news coming out of there's a new tower that's going to be placed in Shepherdstown. I think it's going to be on the campus, perhaps, which will help a lot with radio traffic in that particular area. And I'm hoping that maybe some of that will take a little bit of burden off of the North Mountain Tower that we have. The protocols have been up or will be updated this year for the EMS and fire protocols for 911. They are currently down 5 dispatchers, so that's not necessarily a good thing. Development Authority meeting, there was discussion and be working with Region 9 for engineering, an engineering grant for Harold Drive, kind of back on the books again. I think Gary had done a preliminary design of that route at one time, but now they need some engineering work to be done, so we're working with Region 9 on that.
Does that include all of Harold Drive down to Tabor Station, or just?
I think it will, because it will definitely need to be upgraded as well. Yeah. So, but Jennifer and her team remain to be very active there, showing different properties and the activities and stuff that are going on. They're just continue to inquire about properties here in Berkeley County, especially something on the 81 corridor or anything along the rail. It seems really. I had an out-of-state tag meeting yesterday. So far, there have been 4,270 notices put out, and 505 new tags have been issued. And a total, they've had approximately 1,000 of those have are in compliance. They've either gotten new tags or they've found to be exempt because of company cars or a student that's visiting or school residency, this type of activity. So I wanted to really thank the sheriff and his team, the assessor and his team, and of course the county staff for their work on that. And the other thing, we're going to reach out to the closing attorneys to send to mention or to show them the law, that when they have the closing, basically out-of-state folks that are now residing here, that it is a law that they comply with getting their tags switched over. So that's.
And I thank you for allowing me to attend that with you yesterday. So
Yeah,
very
glad you-
informative, and I really have a feel that it's moving forward in the right direction, and it can only mean that hopefully the end result is some additional revenues that have been ignored over the years coming into our coffers to help with not only us but the school system as well. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we are. We are with that, that's for sure. We got a couple minutes before
Oh, I hear them. They're out there.
911 folks, if you could.
They're gathering.
Ask them to come in, Gary.
Hey, Philip. Here they come.
Yeah, get out while you can. 911 operator.
Couple of HD.
Yeah, I saw it.
I heard him.
Let's just wait a minute until we
Yeah.
get our 911 telecommunicators
Hold on, I'm at it. Please call back.
in so they can be
Please call back
recognized this
later.
morning.
You heard me, Pin?
I did.
Could you please hold? We're on a meeting.
Hey, ma'am, you're up. If you're ready to go.
Yes, we are. We're going to start first with something exciting that happened on April the 2nd. I'm actually going to ask Paula to be up here. And proud parents, come on up, and Delaney. We had a baby delivery the other day, so
Yay.
April the 2nd. So I'll go with Paula until we're here.
Oh,
Okay. So, Delaney, on April the 2nd, at about 5:52, you had received an emergency call for assistance from a resident located at Basin Drive. The request was for assistance for a female that was in labor and about to give birth. You were advised that the female was crowning and birth was evident. Medical assistance was not present at the time of the call. Receiving this information, you immediately began providing an assistance. Through a calm and professional demeanor, you provided clear and precise instructions to assist with the delivery of the baby. Throughout the entire incident, you remained composed and focused while under pressure to save 2 lives, and as a result of this professional demonstration, you were successful in assisting with the bringing into this world a new life and guarding the life of the mother as well. We here at the 911 Center are extremely proud of you. Your actions are not only a credit to you personally, but reflect great credit to the Berkeley County 911 Center and the Berkeley County government. As a token of our sincere appreciation, we present to you this stork pin. Okay. That reflects your efforts and assistance in delivering a new life into the world. While this token cannot fully convey the depth of our gratitude, we truly hope that it serves as a reminder to you and all that see it, the impact you have made upon life by your individual actions. Thank you for your dedication and unwavering commitment to the service for others. And congratulations.
What kind of pen did you call that? I thought you said stork for a minute. That would be appropriate, I thought.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
Mom or Dad, is there anything that you would like to add to the words? No?
Thank you just for being there for us. It was just very nice to have their voice in the room, so thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful baby.
What's the baby's name?
Tegan Ryan.
About that.
She already has a story.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the little fellow there. And this is big brother Callan.
Okay.
So Delaney has something from
Oh, thank you. We are big readers in our house.
Readers.
And then we have something from all of us at the special bunny that has our logo on it. And also, one of our dispatchers. So she can remember this for years to come.
Yes. Quite a story for her. So make sure she knows it.
Oh, and she's in our little fire department.
Oh, yes.
I see that. And Dad is a firefighter.
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
neat.
he's my name.
We thought that was fascinating.
Small world.
So, Delaney, here's your pen.
Man, you read fast.
Good. So you can wear that on your lanyard proudly, as we are the few that are able to wear
I'm terrified to do.
You did amazing. Like I said, having that extra voice in the room really was very reassuring, knowing that you weren't alone, even though. Still scary as well.
He helped keep me calm.
That's good. You need someone to help. You go through it.
Yeah, you want to hear that?
Bye, bud. You need to do anything.
We can get some as.
Yeah, they want to stick around.
Okay.
Stick around.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Delaney. So we are here today, it's a couple days early, to celebrate National Telecommunicators Week. So thank you again for having us. Want to read?
Sure, I'd be happy to read
That'd be
your
wonderful.
proclamation. I don't think that you should have to read your own proclamation.
Thank you.
The National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 14th through April 20, 2024. Whereas thousands of dedicated telecommunicators daily serve the citizens of the United States and Canada in answering their calls for police, fire, and emergency medical services by dispatching the appropriate assistance as quickly as possible. Whereas the critical functions performed by professional telecommunicators also include those related to forestry and conservation operations, highway safety, maintenance activities, and many other operations performed by federal, state, and local government agencies. And whereas professional telecommunicators work to improve emergency response capabilities of these communication systems through their leadership and participating in training programs and other activities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Berkeley County Commission does hereby proclaim this week, April 14th through April 20th, as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Berkeley County, West Virginia, in honor of recognition of our county telecommunicators and vital contributions they make to the safety and the well-being of our citizens. Thank you.
We're going to move forward now to recognizing two of our staff members. As I've mentioned in the years past, it's extremely hard for us to decide each year who gets Telecommunicator and Supervisor of the Year, because they all are truly worthy of getting it. I'm going to start first with our Telecommunicator of the Year. It is our great pleasure that we recognize the outstanding achievements of Caitlin Naraki. Caitlin, if you would hold. Caitlin's dedication to her role, her impeccable attendance record, and her genuine concern for the community exemplifies the highest standards of excellence in telecommunications. Caitlin's commitment to her job is unwavering. Her attention to detail ensures that every call is handled with the utmost professionalism and care. Her dedication to serving our community shines through in every interaction, making a positive impact on those in need. Moreover, Caitlin's exemplary attendance record is a testament to her reliability and the commitment to her role. Regardless of the circumstances, she consistently shows up ready to fulfill her duties, ensuring seamless communications and support of both her colleagues and the community. But perhaps the most commendable is Caitlin's genuine concern for the well-being of others. She goes above and beyond to ensure that every call is handled with empathy and compassion, making a difference in the lives of those she serves. Her dedication to doing her job the right way every time sets a shining example for all of us. Caitlin, your hard work, dedication, and compassion have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of the Berkeley County Emergency Communications Center, we are honored to present you with the 2023 Telecommunicator of the Year Award. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to excellence and for being a true asset to our team and community. Congratulations.
She didn't realize she had to give a speech, right?
So we're going to move on next to our Supervisor of the Year. It also is great pleasure that we recognize our Supervisor of the Year, Allison Litt. As the recipient of the 2023 Supervisor of the Year Award, Allison's exemplary commitment to the field of 911 has set the standard of excellence that is truly commendable. Throughout her tenure, Allison has demonstrated dedication to serving our community. Her involvement in various committees, including public education and peer support, reflects her deep-rooted passion for the advancing the welfare of others. She passes on this commitment as well as knowledge to others as she serves as one of our agency's Certified Training Officer, CTO. In addition to her outstanding contributions on the committees, Allison is the lead on our Telecommunicator Emergency Response Task Force, otherwise known as TERT, and her ability to lead with integrity, compassion has been pivotal in guiding the team through challenging situations and emergencies. Allison, your commitment to excellence, your selflessness, and your unwavering dedication to serving others are truly inspiring. You are a shining example of what it means to be a leader, and your contributions have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of the Berkeley County Emergency Communications Center, we extend our congratulations and deepest gratitude for your exceptional service. We are incredibly proud to have you as a part of our team. Congratulations, Allison, on your well-deserved honor. Here's to many more years of continued success and positive impact. So if I could just take a moment and ask all the talk in the room if you could just stand up, because you all are equally deserving of a round of applause.
Before we go any further, I'd like to have a motion to adopt the resolution for National Communicators Day.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moving second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for our community. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much.
Every year you have a good story to tell.
We do.
About your
The
successful.
baby is a great one to add
Yeah.
this year.
As very exciting.
You'll have to ask Jen to tell you about the new mascots they've adopted down at the Emergency Communications Center.
A squirrel or what?
Plural, like 50 buzzards.
Oh, really?
The roof line of the building lined with buzzards.
Oh,
yesterday.
really?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hope they were just in transit and needed a little break.
Oh, they're still flying around, but they're okay. They're our therapy animals. So.
Well, like Mr. Cowley said, thank every one of you for every minute that you're there. You're needed, you're appreciated. Whether somebody is dialing 911 or somebody's pushing the button on the mic to call you, you're always there. And I know that our staff, our IT staff in particular, plays a major role in your all success, and thank them as well. So I remember before we had a 911 center, where if you had if you needed a fire truck or an ambulance, you called the City of Martinsburg Fire Department. And I was one of those guys on the other end that we knew the county pretty well, but that was before any naming of streets. So I was go down to the big tree and make a right. And I knew where the big tree was, so I knew to tell you to make that right. But those days are long gone, and it's a good thing, because so many people, they don't know where that big tree is. But the services that you all are able to provide to the public today just totally trumps the services that we were able to provide 30, 40 years. So thank you. And I've seen all your screens. You have to cover and manipulate, with your mouse, and you do tremendous work. And I don't know that you have enough fingers to do everything that you do, but thank you for what you do, and we would be in the dark without you. Okay, you have anything else that you'd like to say? Okay, well, very good. We're going to take a break and take some pictures.
You're on.
All right, we're back in session, and next we have Tim Zaya with Community Corrections Director. Give us an update, sir.
Good morning,
Tim.
everyone.
How you doing?
Morning.
Let me start with giving you a brief recovery services update. You all approved the hiring this morning of Stephanie Stout. She's I don't know if I assume you all know who she is. She worked for the county a few years back, and
She's the one that applied for the job,
The appointment Tim has.
appointment that you had,
That's
right?
correct.
Same lady, okay,
Yep.
that's what I thought.
yeah, she previously worked for the county. She started as a peer recovery coach at the resource center and became the recovery services coordinator. I don't remember the years. She moved on though to work for a treatment facility called Banyan, and she's done a couple of other things since then. Well, she's coming back into her old role, and I'm excited to have her back. She's very well connected with the recovery community. She's well respected. She's passionate about the work, and I anticipate there being a lot more activity taking place at the Recovery Resource Center simply because of her being there and her role. There's still 7 recovery meetings a week being held at the Recovery Resource Center. The Joe Tip team is still doing a lot of good work in the schools. In fact, I got another, Chad's wife Mandy works at Musselman, and they've been at Musselman for the last month and a half, 2 months. And I ran into her a few days ago at the ball field, and she kind of raved about the Joe Tip staff and how good of a job they were doing. So I'm very pleased with the work that they're doing. They're interfacing with a lot of students, educating them on the Too Good for Drugs curriculum and trying to connect with the kids that are high risk and serve them in whatever way that they're able to. Quick response team is still doing their thing. Overall overdose numbers are just down compared to what they were several years ago. I mean, it wasn't uncommon for us to have 50 overdoses a month. Well, I believe because of the amount of naloxone that's been provided to the community, I don't think overdose numbers are down. I think overdose calls are down because there's so much naloxone available. So we're averaging 15 to 20 calls a month versus, like I said, about 50 a few years ago. So the fact that fewer people are losing their life as a result of this is wonderful. We just can't identify the number the way that we could before. So it's great that naloxone's out there. We just can't really keep keep good data regarding the overdoses that are happening. But they're still doing good work. Day Report Center is really, really busy. In January, our active roster was around 315 to 320. We're up to 380. We've had a serious spike in just a few months.
Excuse me a minute.
Yep.
Run those numbers back by me again.
Yeah, in January, our active roster was 318, if I'm remembering correctly. It's 380 as of this morning. There have been times over the last 6 years, 7 years, that we've had a sharp increase over a few months. I'm hoping this is going to level off because we're pretty darn full. But we're going to maintain the balance that we need to maintain until the space is available and we can kind of spread out a little bit. We're running now 119 hours of groups per week. So it's just a busy place. In March, we did 2,053 drug screens. We've got all five of our vans running around all day, every day. Our DUI program has grown pretty rapidly. It only started a few months ago. We've already completed 7 people, and there are 11 currently enrolled. So the word has spread that we offer DUI services, and people are taking advantage of it. You look like you have another question, Eddie. No?
I do.
Okay.
What does that consist of?
Which one? DUI?
Program.
So a person who's convicted of a DUI in West Virginia, DUI 1, they're required to take 18 hours of group DUI education, which is curriculum that's been developed by people for the West Virginia DMV. If they're convicted of more than one DUI, they become a level 2. They have to do the 18 hours plus I don't remember the number of hours. There's X number of hours of individual therapy they have to receive. And then if they have a DUI third or a DUI with that results in death or something like that, it's even a higher level after that. More of the people that have come through require level 2 or 3 than just level 1, which I wasn't expecting that. It's been interesting to me to learn that. But yeah, we've completed 7 already and 11 currently enrolled.
You guys don't do anything with the blow and goes or any of that stuff?
No. Those that do, we some of them are required to do that. They have to go through, I don't remember the name of the place. It's up there it's on Queen Street.
Right.
Yeah.
And y'all do have some home confinement people over that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's been going on though, right? Or is that
Home confinement people that have
for
blown goes.
DUI? Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people in home confinement that end up on home confinement because of a DUI.
Right.
Yes. Our juvenile program has grown a lot. It started in October of 2022, I think. Oh, I can't swear to that now. I think it was 22. Anyways, it's grown quite a bit. There are 54 kids currently enrolled in our Catalyst program, and we recently were recognized by HIDA at their annual awards ceremony, and we received an award called Outstanding Public Health, Public Safety Collaboration. And I'll read to you the what they wrote in their. I'll read to you what they wrote. The community-based assessment and treatment for adolescents and families to launch interventions for substances and trauma Catalyst program is designed to enhance and expand early intervention, treatment, and recovery services for underserved and at-risk adolescents aged 12 to 18 with substance use disorder and or co-occurring disorders and their primary caregivers in Berkeley County, West Virginia. Catalyst leverages community infrastructures and resources. Youth referred to Catalyst for services must have identified substance use or depression, anxiety, or trauma, and one of the following risk factors present: prenatal substance use, mental health, involvement in the criminal legal system, or strong potential to be involved in the criminal legal system through truancy, which is a criminal charge. Through September 2023, 249 youth were referred to Catalyst, 167 initiated services. So we get a lot of referrals from school counselors now, DHHR caseworkers. We've received 249 referrals. Out of those 249, 167 engaged with services with us. Of those who initiated services, 143, which is 86%, engaged in treatment over time. And through September of 2023, the rate of those who are actively engaged or successfully completed the Catalyst program is 51%. So we went down, the Catalyst team and I, to an award ceremony last week, and were presented with this award by the director of HIDA, which is now Jeff Beeson. Some of you may have met Tom Carr in the past. Tom was the executive director of HIDA for many years. He retired. Jeff Beeson is now the director. So they presented us with this award, and we went down and were recognized, and I couldn't be more pleased with the work that the staff does. Continue to fund us. They've been one of our largest supporters since the very beginning, 2016.
Age range of these kids?
12 to 18.
12 to 18.
Yep. So that's Day Report Center. Any questions, comments?
On that Catalyst, that's a lot of those times you're bringing children actually to the center, correct?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I mean
some of the kids, their parents really are not
engaged.
Yeah, in any way at all. So the therapist, with the parents' permission, will go and see them at the schools. I don't know the number off the top of my head. There might be 10 or 15 kids that they see on a weekly basis in the school setting. But most of the kids come to the DRC. We provide transportation to them just like we do the adults.
That's where it's at, right there.
Yeah. There are some families that do participate, but not nearly as many as we would hope.
Tim, when you mentioned that in April you're up to 380 people in the day report right now, pretty well filled out, maxed out. once the expansion is completed, how many people you think you'd be able to take on before you reach capacity at that level?
We can't take on too many more than where we're at now, maybe up to 400. My hope is that we're in the process of requesting a few different larger grants, and I have hopes that we're gonna get this the biggest one, which is a SAMHSA grant. I've requested assistance from Senator Capito and Manchin, and both have indicated that they're supportive of it. And if we're able to get that grant, I can come before you and say, we got this grant, I need to hire more staff, and begin to fill that.
Max that on staff is the issue. And
Yes.
if you get more staff, then obviously you take on.
Space won't be an issue once this building's done.
Won't be a space
It's
problem, it'll just be a staffing problem.
Yes, sir.
Right. But it's good to know you would have the capacity if you can get more staff to expand then.
Right.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Home confinement program. The commission took over the home confinement program in January of 2018. It was assigned to the Community Corrections Department. When we first kind of handed it over by the Sheriff's Department, there were 15 people who were under home confinement supervision. 3 of them were in the wind. So there were technically 12 that actually had monitors on. We don't even know what happened to the other 3. But the home confinement program has grown pretty significantly since then. We've supervised a total of 1,158 offenders since January 2nd, 2018. We maintain an average of 125 to 135 offenders on a daily basis. That number changes every day depending on new offenders that are hooked up and those that come off for various reasons. There's still 41 pending cases. We average 40 to 50 pending at all times. In 2018, we collected $75,600 in fees. In 2019, we collected $99,800. In 2020, it dropped down to $73,000. 2021 bounced back up a little bit to 90. 2022, 87. 2023, 86. There were a lot of people that weren't paying their fees. Now, I don't know if I want to say this publicly. We're not going to put an offender in jail for not paying their fees. However, there's a lot of offenders that work, and they're able to pay this fee, and they should pay this fee. So I talked with Doug about this a few months ago, and just pointed out the fact that there's a lot of offenders not paying their dues. So I don't know if any of you all have met Doug. I had him come in here today because this home confinement program, if there was, like HIDA collects data and pays attention to the programs that they fund, and they recognize good work, and they reward it. If there was an outfit somewhere that monitored home confinement programs throughout the state, I guarantee you Berkeley County Home Confinement Program would be number one. And a lot of that is due to Doug Webb's leadership. I just wanted to have him come in here and recognize his work. He is an absolutely fabulous supervisor. He is professional. The guys respect him. He does a really good job. But because of his efforts, from January through the end of March already, we've collected $69,773 in fees. I mean, that's darn near where we've been on a yearly basis for the last 5 years. So we're going to well exceed that. Home confinement program does really good work. I mean, the report writing that they do, the data tracking that Doug takes care of is exemplary. So I just wanted to bring him in here and recognize him. Doug, I appreciate what you do, man. I really do. Thank you. If there was a bunch of people here, I'd say let's clap.
By the looks of him, I wouldn't argue with him, so.
He's got a fine haircut, too.
He does.
But
that
we
was my
still
favorite thing about
had, we were at 6 officers and we approved 2 positions, but we hired 1. Are we
Correct.
still at 7?
Yes.
So-
No. We were at 7 in the approved 2 to put us at 9. We have 8.
You have 8, yeah.
we actually have-
There was 6 plus a supervisor is what I should have said. And then
7 plus.
now, currently, there's 7 plus a supervisor, right? But there was another position actually approved, but
Yes,
until we need that capacity, it's no use to hire somebody at this point.
correct.
So
We actually
still-
have a
We're
recruit.
still at the 7 plus the supervisor, yeah. So
Yeah.
eight total people, right?
Yes.
Right.
I have a question. Is there a way to garnish wages for the people that are not paying if they're at a job?
I don't think so. That's a question above my head, I think.
It's just potential.
Okay, the administrator says potentially.
I mean, they do that for child support and things. I mean, if they're staying out of jail, they're staying at a job. Should be a way to enforce getting some payment.
I think,
Doug's doing a pretty good job right now. I mean,
Well, I'm not saying he's
that's
not.
certainly a
I'm
conversation.
not saying
that
he's
could be had
not.
on the way.
He's obviously doing way better than we were, but I'm just saying that may be something to look at if it's a possibility.
Any other questions for me or for Doug?
Are you getting cooperation you want from the judicial folks to keep people coming in this home confinement situation? That's not an issue at all, is it?
No.
Okay.
And the referrals that come to the day report center alone are a testament to that. Sometimes I wish there was a little less cooperation. I'm kidding. Yeah, plenty of we have great relationships with the attorneys, the magistrates, the circuit court judges. Yep. They seem to be very pleased with the services being provided, and they continue using them.
I tell you, you probably should put money in your budget for hinges on doors. The amount of folks, if you go over there, I've been going over there every couple of weeks for meetings, and the amount of people that are coming in and out of that building around the clock almost, at least during business operation hours, phenomenal. The amount of folks that you all are reaching and helping. And I know there will be a few that don't make it through the programs. That's just normal history of the human being. But I know, I see, I listen, because they don't know me. So I'm all ears when they come out into the hallways and you know, as they speak back and forth to one another about different things they're doing. A lot of folks have big smiles on their faces. You know, I've seen them, and I actually stopped to one gentleman. I said, "You're the happiest person I've seen this whole day." And he said, "Well, I'm changing my life." I'm like, "Good for you, brother. Good for you." And so I know you're making a difference. A lot of effort, and I know that you guys are up to it. Obviously, when Haida recognizes you again for your services, doing good stuff. So I'm really pleased to see Stephanie back on staff, and I know that she brings a lot of excitement with her. She's very passionate. She has a great attitude, and going hitting it out of the park.
The home confinement thing, space is not an issue with that, is it? As far as if you expand that in the future, it's just all about just hiring staffing to handle it.
Oh, I've got several people over in their office now that aren't home confinement officers, just that don't have space. So they've got some room.
Yeah. It seemed like the average there was about, I don't know if I'm off on this, about 20 people per supervisor, or per confinement officer. That's about the average, 18 to 20, I would guess, something in that range.
Once it goes up above that too much, they can't provide the same level. Yeah.
But like I said, we do have that one position in reserve if you get to that point that's already been approved. So, you know, I brag about you guys all the time. When I was just at the state county commission association meeting Sunday and Monday at Parkersburg, and you know the money that we save in jail fees alone, that people just don't have. It was nice to meet the gentleman yesterday from the Region 2, but he represents the 3 counties in a report center for the 3 counties to see that they're moving in that direction too. even though it's obviously not the scale that we have, but in all 3 counties, there was like 200 and some people in home confinement, but good for them that they're headed in that direction. But you guys have been a shining example for the whole state of West Virginia, particularly our region, of course, over here. So, but I tell people all the time, the money that you save this county is just incredible. I hate to think where we would be without it right now. Believe me. So.
Yeah, and it's important to me that judges and the attorneys involved, but even the public know that these people who are being allowed to serve their sentence at home are not allowed to just do whatever they want. They're being closely monitored.
Right.
And the terms and conditions are being
Right.
enforced. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, accountability.
Yes.
Yep. We can't thank you enough.
All right.
Thank you all.
Keep it up.
All right.
All right. Next
Good,
up,
good to meet you, Doug. Yep.
next up, we have Deputy County Administrator Chad Weinbrenner. Morning, sir.
And his entourage today.
And his
I
entourage.
have an entourage behind me, Randy Lilly and Archie Locke, to help me present this first policy. So just a little bit of history first. Homeland Security was awarded, Emergency Management was awarded a drone. That grant was awarded
3 months ago.
Well, the grant was awarded much. It's been a long process. The drone was just delivered within the last 2 weeks. We're still waiting on a couple accessories to be delivered with that drone, but it is here. So Randy has been working diligently also with Archie to develop a policy on how we're going to deploy this drone, how we're going to operate it, to make sure that we are operating within the bounds of the law. Randy and Archie are the only licensed drone pilots we have for the county, and they will be the two primary operating this policy. So we're here this morning to present for your consideration the Small Unmanned Aerial Systems Operations Policy. Randy, I'd like you to stand up and help me present this in case there's any questions. You're the expert on it. But this policy outlines everything from start to finish with this drone. It outlines how it's going to be deployed, which is always a direct request through the Director of Emergency Management. Randy is the one who will decide if the drone flies, if it does not fly, if it meets mission parameters, if it's safe to fly, if it's an area that it can fly. And then Randy will also coordinate with Archie for assistance to fly and delegate that between either himself or Archie. This policy goes into great detail for the safety of the drone, the safety of the pilots, and the safety of bystanders who may be around. It has pre-flight checks. There are fatigue reports, and if any of you are familiar with aviation, a lot of this policy really mirrors the same type of fatigue reports that a fixed wing or rotor wing pilot would have as well, to make sure that something going in the air can be operated safely with the most minimal risk possibly to the pilot. And there's a lot of language directly from the FAA that is put into this policy, reiterated in this policy, that Randy and Archie in operation of the drone and the county and ownership of the drone will follow all FAA guidance. The drone is going to be registered with the FAA. It is now. Excellent. Drone is now officially registered with the FAA. It is a 16-page document. The last 6 or 7 pages are the checklists and the maintenance reports that will be done on the drone. I think, Randy, I don't want to speak for you, but there are plans to have regular testing and maintenance tests of the drone completed. Speak to that a little more.
Yeah, so there will be regular maintenance. Pre-flight.
What will the drone be used for?
Well, the drone, it has the capabilities, it has our technology. You can use it for language assessment. Services we can. Also with large buildings, we can do large buildings. Maybe roof, which you'll be able to see. Use another thing, I learned this last night watching some videos. Solar farms. Actually, big thing with solar. Anyway, I was watching a video of those solar farms.
I guess also use them to locate missing children and that kind of stuff.
Yes. Search and rescue operation.
We've actually used, we have a DJI drone that's a little bit old, doesn't have a thermal. The newer Alltel drone does have a thermal capability. Past when the Martinsburg sewer plant, however, put chemicals in the wrong tank, started a reaction.
Remember that day, Eddie?
Yeah, we
Pretty well.
we did fly the drone in support of that, taking visual examination of the tanks and location. If we had the thermal capability, we could have seen right off the bat what was going on. That kind of leads thermal capability, Alltel. And we've used the DJI and the Alltel to do like marketing pictures. Development Authority, the new park site, down and flew it. We got some video of it. It's a there. I've also done some Overwatch flights with thermal imaging for the Sheriff's Department. There's multiple things. Wildfires, fires, lost children. Just even do photogrammetry of locations. Develop 3D measurable models of any site you want to. This really brings us in. There are certain parts. Martinsburg is a Class D airport. Airspace around it, authorization, codifies. Don't fly on the Class D without authorization. All the drones the county owns. IT department has to. And it walks through basically, don't do anything illegal, don't do anything unsafe. A lot of I'm a fixed wing private pilot, a little bit rusty now. But the last pages 10 and 11, that's ripped right out of the
What's the flight range on this thing?
Flight range, right now legally you cannot fly beyond visual line of sight. But you can fly for about 40 to 45 minutes with the Alltel, and I think the Skydio is a little bit longer.
So it has to be within the flyer's vision.
Visual line of sight, but you can also, what you can do is you can have one person at one location, have another group at another location, and designate that person a visual observer. But as long as you can see it, and they can see it when they pick it up, you're okay.
How big is it?
It's as big as this lectern, probably a little bit bigger. The hardware is capable of 10 to 15 miles of flight and altitudes of 15 to 16,000 feet. And
So if you're doing a wildfire out in the county, you'd have the two visual stations to get the most visual.
And the thermal drones also have pretty good zoom on them. And you'll be amazed once you get 50 to 100 feet off the ground how far you can see, what you can make out with the thermal image. So once you get outside of the Class Delta, we can do 400 feet legally with a visual line of sight. But once you get to 100 feet to 200 feet, a lot of stuff.
Were any of our people up at the Hardy County when they had the fires here?
We offered to go. They didn't need us.
You did not, Ken didn't go.
Same with the train derailment in Morgan. We offered to go and they didn't.
Yeah, there are weather considerations with drones, especially if they have rain, fog, mist, that'll really shrink your visual line of sight capability. And a lot of especially utilities, like there's a gas line blew out in Virginia 2 or 3 years ago, and they immediately throw up a temporary flight restriction. To get into there, you basically have. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do.
Call and notify hours, say, hey, pop in a drone.
Does Morgan and Jefferson have similar drones or anything? You know?
Ranson Police Department has a nice drone.
Mr. Barnard, just to give you an idea, you asked about use. So the drones that you've had, we've been in the drone business about 10 years.
Yeah.
So we've been to law enforcement incidents where shootings were involved, from Mid-Atlantic Parkway to Inwood to going up Tuscarora Pike with a body that was. So we've been out and supported agencies around here for years. What this has done in the evolution and the growth of the procedure is these two gentlemen, Archie Locke particularly, has a lot of time and a lot of money invested in his fixed wing pilot's license. What this does is put your employees, the departments, at ease behind a policy that protects them when they have to say, no, we can't do this, and you don't get someone really throwing a fit like, no, it doesn't fit within the guidelines of the policy. We've done everything from tower inspections, missing bodies, missing people, animals, you never know. We got invited and they wanted us, and I have a really cool video if you want to see how Archie Locke operated with the SWAT team. My first statement was, I'll send him, but protect him, because they had a person with a gun in the woods, and particularly in one statement barricaded in the house, so they didn't really know. Archie's flying this drone in the middle of the night, and just so happened at this house there was a Tesla. You could see the extension, well, it wasn't extension cord, but the power cords on the ground that led to the Tesla. You could actually see it from the drone. You could see the computer in the house. You could see the person in the woods. It was ridiculous. And Matt Rappan, who actually was in charge of the SWAT effort that day, wrote a great letter to Mr. Locke saying, his aerial support of the folks, the humans on the ground trying to get in there, was beyond reproach. The other thing that they can do is they can put these drones up, and at the command center on the ground, you can be watching on a screen on your phone. Archie's flying, Randy's supervising, and the incident commander's watching with his or her own eyes about what's happening right there. So this kind of technology has taken the protection of your people on scene in those instances, or the search and effort finding, to levels that could have never happened without them. Swiftwater Rescue, although we didn't end up with that because of the laws of the kind of drones we can buy. They make drones now that can deliver a help cord, a pull cord out to the middle of water. It can come back and then they can pull a bigger cord out. We didn't get that. But some of the things that are evolving in this industry, now that you have this in place and these kind of people dedicated to staying on top of the technology, out of control what's going to happen.
Yeah, we've used Archie on looking for bodies on the quarry. We've used Archie on the rail, because they can cover so much more territory so much quickly.
Did you guys cover that child that was missing in Spring Mills last week? I think it was a Maryland helicopter.
That's one thing too, is have a pallet and a drone helicopter.
You can't fly the area.
Yeah, you keep that drone on the ground. Switching. The manned aircraft.
All right. Okay, so anybody else have any other questions? Need a motion to approve the policy for the drone.
I would so move.
Second.
Probably moving second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you for your work, Randy and Archie.
Thank you.
Chad did a lot of work, but we won't let him fly it. He did good work.
Very good. All right, Chad, you covering the community supervision strategies grant?
Yes, sir. Tim, I may need you for some questions, but in front of you is the request to apply for the fiscal year 24 Community Supervision Strategy Grant. This is a grant through the U.S. Department of Justice. It's going to directly support community corrections, primarily to fund 3 positions for 36 months, but it also carries a substantial dollar amount to offset lab fees, which Tim can tell you how much. $20,000 a month. So you have almost $208,000 built in this grant, which will offset those lab fees over the 36-month life of this grant. It is a zero match grant, which means that the salaries of 3 employees listed in are paid for at 100% for those 36 months. At the end of that grant, the commission would need to assume those salaries. It would fund a DUI therapist, a peer coach, and a case manager. The annual compensation for those comes out with fringe included to about $214,800 a year, or $14,800 a year for those 3 positions. There are some costs built in for required trainings, some equipment costs built in for computers, as well as some contractual costs built in to have evaluators come in annually to make sure the grant is being done appropriately, make sure it's being administered appropriately. And obviously, Tim has direct grant support now at the Day Report Center, who will be working to this grant daily. The goal of this grant, through hiring these 3 positions, is to, as most of Tim's grants are, to reduce recidivism, reoffenders in the community, and to continue to support his need for staff at the Day Report Center and community. Miss anything? Total cost of this grant is $900,000.
That's for 3 years.
That's for 3 years.
$300,000 a year.
Yes, sir. Zero match, and the commission would be assuming $214,800 of payroll year 4.
I just heard our county administrator take a big in. So at the end of that 3 years, is there an opportunity to reapply for those monies? There are. So it's not like the SAFER grant at the end of the 3 or 4 year period, and it's on you're on your own.
And I think it should be the Day Report Center. Tim and his staff have done an excellent job of going everywhere they can to. And Tim made a comment to me when we were talking about this that he's always had the conversation with his staff that are hired on grants. At the end of those grants, he cannot guarantee that the positions existed, but so far through their work has not needed to ever actually.
This isn't like the SAFER grant where they are committed to assume them on year 4 no matter what.
Yes, that is not. So they cannot afford the salary.
Else have any other questions? Okay, I need a motion to approve the grant request.
Make a motion to approve the grant request.
Second.
Properly moving second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Tim.
One final thing before I leave. I'd just like to introduce everybody formally to Aaliyah Tucker. She is the new executive assistant to the county commission. She started Monday and has already hit the ground running. She's been helping us so far this week with a lot of hiring practices. She's been working with job postings and has reminded me at least twice that I am old enough to be in a protected class now. So we
already had to adjust her pre-10 a.m. personality because she's crazy bubbly at 8 o'clock. Like, you need to calm down.
That's awful, isn't it?
I know.
Hard to take.
We are excited to have Aaliyah on board and look forward to big things.
All right, welcome, Leah.
A-L-E-A-H?
Yep.
Yep.
With a
See what I mean? Aaliyah with a There it is.
All right.
I got Aaliyah too, but she's got more than an
That's going to conclude our business for today. Are any items from the public? Why don't we not need executive session? Barnhart,
Well, I'm anxious to motion to recess then.
we are in recess.